Oh, it's Bring It In. It's our last Bring It In of the year, you guys. Did you know that?
You did.
Quarantine's real again. I never really stopped introducing the show as a little Zoom from Quarantine show, and what a win! What a win that
was! It's true.
So we're gonna bring a little bit of Christmas spirit. The NBA needs a little dash of fun. Because Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Trae Young, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darren Fox, RJ Barrett, Pascal Siakam, and a whole bunch of other players are in health and safety protocols. Games have been postponed like crazy. Billionaires have directed the league to keep the games going more or less no matter what. So the league is making a new rule where you can sign basically us to play in the NBA. So these are hard times, but the NBA is tough. We're tough. We've been through some stuff. So Jarod had a brilliant idea, which is that we, the people of TrueHoop, are going to give a gift to every NBA team. That's 30 teams worth, so we got to get cracking. Oh! First of all, we're looking at a picture. What are we looking at here?
We are looking at a picture of me in downtown San Francisco in 2015 when I lived out there at SantaCon. So as many of you may know, I used to live out in Silicon Valley. I was a manager out there at some startups. And, one of the things that my younger employees would affectionately call me is Grandpa J, right? Because we would talk about things and I'd be like, guys, don't you know about this? This song was great back in 1984. And they'd be like, what? Did they play analog back then? And so they would say, let's go to SantaCon. I think you'd have a good time there and have fun. And I was like, guys, SantaCon's going to be awful. I definitely don't want to go to this. It's going to be terrible. Come on, Grandpa, have a good time. It'll be great. All right. We'll go. Listen, I was fine because I didn't get overtly drunk. I wasn't puking in the street. So all good. Some of my younger, employees, maybe they had a little bit too much fun. So, it was fine.
I don't know what SantaCon is.
SantaCon is this all-day drinking event that happens in cities all across the country where you dress up in these Santa outfits and you go from bar to bar to bar and you literally consume as much alcohol as possible.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to just recap. Like, their concern was you were a little judgmental about people having too much fun, so they were going to fix that.
Yes, correct.
And your takeaway is they're a bunch of drunk idiots.
Pretty much. But listen, a good time was had by all. It was fine. I had my nice little Santa hat. Lovely time.
There's as we've mentioned a couple of times on the show, I've started playing pickleball, which is the whole thing is like ridiculous. And I did notice in the little gift shop, they only have two kinds of shirts. One is the name of the pickleball club, and two is something about day drinking. And I'm like, there's different kinds of sports out there, Jarod. Some of them are
day drinking, Henry, when you're in your 20s, day drinking super fun. As you get towards your late 30s, early 40s, it becomes a little less fun. So
to me, it's just day drinking is needs to be light drinking, but B,
yes.
You're like, it's 90 minutes till I'm falling asleep. So like we can start that party whenever you want, but like
well, that's the thing. You start 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't be asleep by 1 in the afternoon. Like,
maybe we'll try again at 5. I don't know. It's not a long-term plan. That's not gonna work. All right. We have 30 teams to get through, which gives us now probably an average of about 4 seconds per team. So I guess we should get cracking.
We should.
Jarod, do you want to kick us off with a little gift for the NBA?
Yes, the NBA should stop kowtowing to the NFL. The NFL's got Christmas Day games now. The NBA moved Tuesday nights to Thursday because they're worried about, or vice versa. Thursday night to Tuesday because they're worried about Thursday night football. Enough. Like, who cares? Because about the NFL, you're the NBA, your product's awesome, and just promote it when you want to promote it.
So the gift is like the heart for the lion in the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yes, I was going to use something a little more crass than that, but yes, the heart of the lion, exactly.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, correct.
All right, Brooklyn Nets. Here's my little joke. It's a tough choice for the Nets. Do you want Pfizer or Moderna?
I think I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Betty say Moderna, by the way, according to what I saw.
A little better, yeah.
I'd like KD and Harden to really tell us how they feel about what Kyrie's doing. There's a moment of honesty, a little truth serum.
I would like Kyrie to be fully bought in.
But Jarod, you also mentioned the man who has two names that are both the name of healthcare companies.
yes. I would like David Duke Jr., Nick Claxton, and Kessler Edwards to be in a rotation that actually plays in the postseason. Not a ton of minutes because you got big important dudes, but some minutes. They'll help.
By the way, we're going in order of conference names. This is the Eastern Conference. Nets first. Chicago Bulls, David.
Yeah, I'd like to. I watched them play last game. I'd like Vooch to kind of channel his inner Grinch as a Pate defender instead of the world's tallest elf that he is right now. Just toys for everybody. Here, go to the rim, get a dunk, get a layup. Woo! It's all Christmas time. He needs to
get their team. Yeah. The Cleveland Cavaliers. They already got their present. I'm saying that the Pistons and the Rockets gave them the best gift they could have ever gotten, which is not picking Evan Mobley.
Love it. I think Cleveland needs an all-star wing. They're looking good. They can beat some people in the playoffs.
For sure. David, Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I want Dante DiVincenzo to finally return back, to the player he was. He missed the title run. I think they would have even been better had he played. He started all year for them. 2 years in a row he had started. And then the day he was supposed to come back, I believe he went into COVID protocols. Santa owes him something. This guy has sacrificed a lot. He's been nice. We need to get him back to being healthy for the Bucks as they get down in the second part of the season.
They have not been like the team they wanted to be this year, but I've noticed they've been Jordan Nwora and Mamu. Look at this little video. It's like it's just a hero worship of this is Alexander Sandro Mamukelishvili, who's from the country of Georgia via Italy, Seton Hall, and the Wisconsin Herd, and playing pretty well for them. So Merry Christmas, Milwaukee. The Miami Heat. David, you are up.
Yeah, I'd like. I want to see Jimmy Butler, who's by the way missed 48 games the last 3 years. I think AD's missed 49, and we always kind of trash on AD, but Jimmy Butler is only one game short in the same 3 years. So while he's not playing, let's go ahead and franchise that Big Face Coffee. That would have been that'd have been fun to see. And then our state is so struggling for political leaders, as we joked about before our show started. I want Haslam to be named mayor for life. He is Mr. Miami, and I think he might generate a whole new generation of decent politicians if they just said, "Okay, you're mayor for life, and let's go from there."
So, like David's gift to the city of Miami is Udonis Haslam's free time.
Well, he's got a lot of free time to do here. Yeah. He'll make the world a better place, at least down in 305 anyway.
You're welcome, Miami. All right, the Washington Wizards. David, it seems like you're dropping a little news bomb into this Washington Wizards gift.
I mean, they're back to being what we thought they would be. Jarod and I talked about this on Friday. They're a 500 team. Spencer Dinwiddie's been struggling. So I'd like Bradley Beal to admit that, okay, I want to be traded. I want to go to a contender. And if he's not comfortable admitting where he wants to go, he can just say, the team that I want to go to has a center who has a name that rhymes with Noel Grembeed. That'd be a good spot for him. And Ben Simmons in Washington would be great too.
Someone's gonna be like, spit it out, Bradley Beal. We know what you're saying. All right, the Boston Celtics. David, go.
Boy, Robert Williams just can't find a traction to be the kind of player we thought he could be every game. He does have moments. So I was thinking, what former and now dead Celtic could invade his spirit? And then I thought, Red Auerbach. If that guy wanted to win everything, and if we started seeing him playing well, weren't sure why, and then we noticed he was doing some post-game cigars and talking about eating herring in the evenings, we know that old Jewish man took over his soul. That wouldn't be a bad thing for the Celtics.
Do you know? I think it's possible. I can't prove this, but I think I might be the last person who interviewed Red Auerbach before he died. It was just days before he died, and what I was calling him about was when in the middle of the finals he punched the other team's owner in the face on the court.
Wow.
So your Celtics fighting spirit.
when by the way, do you remember when he passed? Because I did speak to him clearly before he died. I wrote about my book.
I was at my parents' house for Christmas, and it was like whatever it was, like December 24th. We talked, and then I think we can look it up. I think he died early January.
I wonder what year that was. I never even thought about. I think he was alive a little longer after I spoke to him. But yeah, the Celtics could use that right now.
Yeah. Also, by the way, when we get upset about like violence in the NBA, it's like the coach punching an owner,
right?
Like
that was like they had real violence back then. Like
for sure.
Okay. Philadelphia 76ers. I would like to give them a time machine to go back in time and piss Ben Simmons off less.
Yeah, for sure. Just think about where they'd be if that doesn't happen. Or you could have also imagined a time machine where Ben Simmons actually tried to dunk the ball on Trae Young and got fouled, and whether he made or missed, I don't think we'd have this issue anymore, would we?
Probably not.
Did we lose Henry?
No, he's there.
I'm having an issue. Hold on. It's going to be fine. Everything's cool.
Everyone talk amongst yourselves.
I just need to. Here's what happens. This microphone turns off sometimes, and then my paper shuffling really annoys Judy, and then she direct messages me. But it's just because it's the wrong mic. I got to switch it back.
I see.
Hold on. Super professional.
We'll let you guys in behind the scenes
paper
here.
shuffling too.
This is really behind the curtain, guys.
It is annoying. Hold on, everybody.
Judy just all sound mattered you just now. Nice, Judy. Nice.
That's all right. While you're doing that, Henry, I can talk about Charlotte.
I think we're better. Are we better now? Hey, I can show up like a storm now. Okay. Yeah, Charlotte, go for it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught the game last night, but like many times this year, they are the 30th ranked defense in the league. It'd be great to get a beautifully wrapped box, and inside was a book called "Let's Give a Fuck About Defense," because they don't. Now they're offensively unbelievable. I think they're top 2 or 3 in the league offensively, but they're now dead last in defense. And a couple years ago, they were actually pretty good and kind of trending in the right way, but not anymore. So
that's actually a gift to the Blazers. As a Blazer fan, I feel like I received that gift. Like,
but you guys might have written the book.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, wasn't it called "Let's Give a Fuck About Defense"?
Well, they didn't write it; they needed.
No, it was a wishful. It was a wish fulfillment.
An aspirational book. Okay. So the Raptors got a gift. They got a gift. It's like a snow day, but it's a COVID day. They're off today. Everything's canceled. Not practicing. Go home, play some video games. Buy a gift.
Exactly. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, have a good time. These are precious times. All right, for the Hawks, how about this? Like yesterday, Sunday, Trae Young got engaged and entered COVID protocols on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So for Christmas, I hope that he can laugh about that one day. They look very happy in the picture, to be honest.
He'll be just fine.
He'll be just fine.
He'll be just fine.
He's gonna be just fine. Yeah, that dude's got a hell of a $200 million coming into his future. Pretty much guaranteed.
All right, the New York Knicks. David I don't know if this is totally the spirit of Christmas, but let it rip, David.
I'm trying to be sweet about it. I feel like this executive group has a pretty good plan. I think they've got an idea of what they're looking for and how they want to build their culture and everything. And it's just so hard to do when you're dealing with the kind of yuck they already have. So fucking trade everybody they can. Amass draft picks, press the reset button like Oklahoma City has done, and then just build from scratch. And maybe in 5-6 years they'll be interesting again.
My gift was a long time ago.
My gift's for James Dolan, who basically has done everything wrong on the court for decades and got a franchise that is worth on paper the most in the NBA at more than $6 billion.
Yeah, no joke.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's crazy. Although they did say, honestly, at one point in the middle of like the Knicks being just among the worst teams in the NBA, someone from the league was like, "You guys laugh at the Knicks, but like the paper part, like they send their financials to us, like it's not funny at all. Like, they're super great at it." Yep. Jokes on the New Yorkers.
Exactly. MSG Holding Company, very, very profitable.
Very, very profitable.
And just to be clear, I think, and I know Henry is going to talk more about it later. OKC is fun. They're interesting, and they're not good, but they're not terrible. They've got one incredible player that they acquired, but Josh Giddey he's got a chance to be a really good player. They've got some interesting things going on. The Knicks might be fun, where the pressure's off of being good, but we're just trying to amass as much talent, young talent, and let that executive group cook them up. Coach them up, and all of that. I'm not trying to trash on them at all.
Okay, the Pacers, Jarod, what do you think for them?
In the spirit of Christmas, let's give the Heartland something nice. Indiana, basketball loving state. Let's give your team a clear mission and a vision of who it is that y'all want to be. Because, the Heartland, damn it, they deserve a good basketball team. See, look how nice I am to the Heartland.
Okay, that's nice. A mission and a vision. Oh, here you go. You can put that up, Judy. I'll jump in line for that. David has a little Pacers thing too, but my gift is this guy named Leon D, who saw the news that you can sign replacement players in the COVID times. And he says, "I'm not tall, can't dunk. Free throws are an issue. Maybe I can pass successfully about half the time. I'm here if you need me." So Leon D is my gift to you, Pacers, so long as it fits the vision that Jarod wants you to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, David,
Yeah.
you got something for the Pacers?
Well, in the spirit of Christmas, when we're supposed to have mirth and joy, I thought that Rick Carlisle looked a lot like Jim Carrey. But if you read Tim McMahon's latest story of him and Luka's issues in Dallas, and Jarod and I talked about him, I think, last week, and maybe Henry, maybe you did too. He isn't as funny as Jim Carrey, but boy, it'd be nice if he was. They could use some laughs there. I think they have the worst record in the league in the clutch, which we know I don't think is Rick Carlisle's fault. It's 50-50. These are coin flip games, and they just lost the coin flip the most of anyone because they're really not a terrible team. They're decent. They're solid. So get them to laugh a little bit. Maybe that'll change the mojo.
He's not the guy for that. I am
always not. That's listen, Santa's not real. Just to send.
Hey, David, speak for yourself, David.
Things.
I'll tell you,
wave some magic wand things.
Two really fast Rick Carlisle stories. I like Rick Carlisle, and I think he's like a supercomputer. He's good at the basketball, right? But I had an NBA staffer come to me with like, oh God, like Rick just chewed me out. I'm like, oh, what happened? And she'd popped her head into his office to ask if she could help with anything, and he basically told her to screw off. That happened about 45 minutes after the Mavericks won the world championship. Like, no way. It's party time, and he's closed in his office, like telling people to. And my other little Rick Carlisle story is I thought it would be hilarious. I had a new phone. I went to a friend's house, and they had like those bulldogs that really can't breathe at all, like really loud. And so I recorded that sound and made it a ringtone on my phone. So my phone went right, and I'm holding my phone out to interview Rick Carlisle with a bunch of other journalists there, and I get a phone call, and it starts making this. It was up loud. It made like a loud, very strange sound, and you can see Rick like looks at me and he's just like, Henry, like it's just like of course you fucked this up, Henry. Kind of. He did not think it was funny.
Classic Carlisle.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. Okay. We are on to Orlando Magic.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, our governor here in Florida is all about freedom, and he's constantly touting freedom, and we can free do whatever we want, and don't wear a mask, and don't get vaccinated, blah blah blah. Although he won't admit that he's been boosted, he won't flat out answer the question because that's who he is. Well, if that's the case, we know Miami is going to make the playoffs. The Heat. We know the Magic aren't. But they should be free to go to the playoffs if they want to. And so let Ron DeSantis declare the Magic are in the playoffs in the state of Florida because we're free to do whatever the fuck we want.
It would set up a pretty fun drama. Like if we're trying to make this into some, like now Adam Silver has to tell him he's not God or whatever. Like that'd
be fun.
It'd be fun. All right. The Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched them recently too. Cade Cunningham's coming around. He looks like he's going to be a really good player. Doesn't yet have the projection of Scotty and Mobley, but absolute all-star level talent. And let's let him trade Jeremy Grant to a contender, which is good for Jeremy. Get a good pick, and then I just want relevance. They'll be relevant if they've got an all-star level player, which would be great. I want Dwayne Casey to stay there, and I want Detroit to suddenly have something to be proud of again, a basketball team that actually wins more games than they lose, or at least close to it anyway.
Do you like any of the other young players they have?
Killian Hayes is doing okay. Yeah, I like Sadiq Bey. I like Stewart. I do think that they've got the nucleus of what can be a decent team if Cade can become special. The other guys look like they're solid. Cade needs to be great, and then they can build from there. So yeah, I do think it's absolutely possible that the first pick in the draft ends up being a guy that can help get them to the playoffs. It's certainly possible.
Trade Jeremy Grant, get more young guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We did the Eastern Conference. Well done. Merry Christmas. All right. Moving on to the West, where the number one team is the Phoenix Suns.
Judy, can you play that clip, please? I want an abundance of this for the Phoenix Suns. Just watch this here. Ball movement, everybody happy, open corner threes, all the good stuff. I want all that for me. Yep, play that one too. Look at this. Yeah, throw it out here. You go over here. How about over to you? How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
everybody's just happy.
And who are they playing?
Oh, listen, the worst defense in the league. But I want an
It
abundance
only
of that
suits the other uniform. I like it.
for Phoenix, and maybe a younger, more athletic version of Jay Crowder.
Yeah, they'd be pretty good if they had that. Yeah, Miles Bridges would be good there. I'd like to see someone. I guess hacking's illegal, so I'm not calling for that. But let's somehow find an email from an owner with the subject called "We fucked up not extending Ayton," because they fucked up not extending Ayton. It's going to cost them every penny possible. I don't think he's upset with them. He's playing his ass off. I think he's getting better and better, and they're gonna have to pay him every dollar.
And they've paid Chris Paul a lot. Like it's going to become too expensive to keep together, right?
Yep.
Like that's what's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. The Golden State Warriors.
They got Christmas coming already. They got Wiseman coming. They got Klay Thompson coming. They have the best record in the league, and they have those two guys coming. Of course, Wiseman can end up being not good. We just don't know. I think he will be, and Klay too. We don't know, but no team is more excited to get two players back than what Golden State is with those two.
The Utah Jazz.
Yeah, you know how they mic up players. I don't know that Rudy's ever been mic'd up, and if he has been, I almost want him secretly mic'd up. And when he does one of his incredible shot blocks at the rim, I want to hear him whispering, "Vous incollez de restaurant à la maison." Because I think that's what he's thinking.
Vous, enculés, auriez dû rester à la maison.
Close.
You motherfuckers
close.
should have stayed home.
I
Close.
want to hear him say, "You motherfuckers, stay home." In
David,
French,
could you do your French run just one more time? I might have missed a couple. So
my French voice?
yeah, the French
Want to hear
one.
mine again?
Yeah,
Vous incollez de restaurant à la maison.
exactly.
I've never taken French in my life. Spanish is okay, but not French.
You got it. I really like hearing the computer cursing too. That makes sense. All right. The Memphis Grizzlies.
I would love an understanding for that team for Christmas that a Ja Morant heliocentric offense is not going to have this team at its best. And they're kind of seeing that right now. So perhaps when Ja comes back, they'll be like, guys, we can be even better if we do this shared thing.
Maybe just for Christmas, we could just explain for some listeners what the word heliocentric means.
An offense where Ja Morant literally is everything and everything. The sun, basically, of that offense, right? We need a little bit more democratized offense, and I think they'll be just fine.
Wait, is this your JJJ fandom peeking out?
I mean, it might be. It might be a little bit of Triple J fandom coming out. Yes, Gerard Copernicus. Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I'd like to see JJJ just admit, all right, I'm Batman. I'm the guy on this team. If you ever saw, there's a Seinfeld episode where Kramer is doing all sorts of incredible things, and he's driving a bus while he's fighting off a criminal on the bus, trying to steal the bus, whatever. And George says to him, "You're Batman." And Kramer's like, "I am Batman." I want Jaren Jackson Jr. to admit, all right, I've arrived, because guys, he has arrived, as Jarod and I have talked about recently. He's not rebounding where he needs to go yet, but defensively he's become a monster. Offensively, he's fantastic. And then the great thing is, I mean, John Morant will be the best Robin of all time. He's a fantastic talent, and they are amazing. Gerard, wouldn't you agree? His partnership,
Yeah.
because Jackson on defense and very good on offense. Morant as
On
a brilliant,
offense.
is like having Steve Nash with real defense guy behind him, like high level offense with that.
We say this all the time. Drafting two all-NBA guys in consecutive years is fucking really difficult. Like, they did it. Like, don't mess it up now. Like, right, you did the hard part. You got the hard part done. Don't mess it up.
And if you guys know Batman at all, they have a guy on their team really named Bane.
Yeah, Desmond
And
Bane,
he's
who's very
fantastic.
good. Yes.
Fantastic. He looks like the world's strongest man that plays basketball next to Pekovic, the old Pekovic. This guy can actually shoot.
They got a nice young team there. Just don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
All right, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about Kawhi over the years. People have told me he's the oddest guy ever, but they love him. They love but no one's really says that publicly. I'd like to hear that. Have you heard that too, guys? That he's just weird, but a great guy.
I mean, he's not an extrovert, is what I hear, right? So he's not like that guy that we see like that in front of the cameras. But like behind the scenes, everybody's like, no, he's fine. We roll with Kawhi. He's funny. Like we're cool with him.
Yeah. People
He
like
doesn't. I never seen somebody like I thought he was very earnestly answering a question about when he would know he was ready to return from injury, and he was basically like, well, to play well, you really need to be able to run, and I just felt like I think most of us were expecting an answer that involved feelings, right? And he just like I think it was, and he said a lot of things where just like he just doesn't honor that, right? He's just like,
isn't he the one that maybe I don't know who they were playing. Drod may remember this, but they were in a postseason game, and the game ended on the road, and they said to Kawhi, "Okay, where does the series go from here?" And he looked at very
back to
Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Like there's no like what else could you be asking for? It reminds me, we have some time here. You know how you throw coins into like a fountain to make a wish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had all my nieces and nephews and my kids. We were like, they're all like 5 to 7 years old, all of them, at a place called the Rainforest Cafe in Orlando. And they have like a big fake alligator, of course they do, in the water. And so we told the kids, you got to throw a coin. It's got to land on the gator's back and stick. And then they get something from it. So after everyone did it, at the end, I said, okay, what'd you wish for? Godzilla, this, and a ballet, a baby doll for my daughter, whatever. I said to my son, what did you wish for? And he looked at me like Kawaii Leonard and said, I wish for the coin to land on the alligator's back.
But that like
reminds me of.
That is Kawhi. Like I've been fortunate enough in that playoff series against Philly with the crazy double, triple bounce.
Yeah.
I was at game 5 in Philly and I asked them a question postseason. So NBA TV's there the whole 9. And it was a particularly like interesting moment of the game. And I wanted some more Kawhi, you're not getting spit up. I mean, he literally broke it down like deadpan, like so technical, like no emotion, whatever. I'm like, you're fucking hilarious. Like, this is great. Like, I love this. Like, it's just like, no, this is how I see this.
I love that.
I mean, there's like a the book Endurance by Alex Hutchinson has a whole chapter. It's like what makes you quit. Like, if it's mostly about running.
Yeah.
But it's one of the chapters is just about emotions, right? Like there's you make yourself a worse athlete by being emotional, right? Like, and this is a superpower, right? It's like, it's maybe socially a little different, but yeah, I think that there's a reason Max and Kawhi are the two best athletes we've discussed here. And like, they both think the same way, right? I
really love
my leg falling off. Never mind, I'll use the other one.
I love you calling that a superpower, and in all sincerity and seriousness, the world is kind of spasming right now. I know a lot of people who are mentally really struggling. Jarod talked about the other day on our show. And that's exactly your point. I'm going to remember that because we can't get emotional right now. We need to lock in and just be scientific like Kawhi. Let's all be like Kawhi. Used to be like Mike. Now let's be like Kawhi.
I feel like Kawhi.
Yeah. What do you think is going to work? Why don't you do that? Okay.
Exactly.
Is there something else we need to discuss?
Right. That's Kawhi.
Okay. Where are we? I think we're at the Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's me.
Yeah.
All right. From the Nuggets, I would like an end to the idea that this year's MVP competition is between Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, while Nikola Jokic is having one of the best seasons of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. Look at this. Just look at this for the record. Like right now, and I don't expect everyone to worship at the altar of dunks and threes, but for the record, he's plus 10.3. Stephen Curry's plus 8. Giannis is plus 7-ish. Jimmy Butler is plus 6.3. LeBron's plus 5.8. Kevin Durant is plus 5.6. And then most people's mind is superior to Jokic this year. I just feel like, poor Jokic, man. What does he have to do?
and he's having the best PR of all time, I think, by like 2 points. I believe. Devin just put 34. I don't remember the highest ever was, but it's around 1.5, 2 points. I mean, the guy's having a crazy season. Yeah.
Although this happened, to be clear, this happens every single year at Christmas. Somebody has the highest PER of all time because it's easy to do it until Christmas.
Right.
And it doesn't
you can't sustain it. Right.
So he doesn't really have the highest. I think if we look at the highest PER at Christmas of all time, it's probably 40. Like it's probably.
But I'll throw this out here too, though. Scoring is not as great this year as years past. When you're putting up those numbers in a more defensive-minded season, it's something. You're not wrong, Henry. We need to take notice. He's having a crazy season when a lot of other guys are going down a little bit because defense has been better this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 31.9. Wow, Giannis had the highest of all time, 2 seasons ago. But it was the bubble year. Yeah.
Bubble year, asterisk.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Gerard, I think you have a gift
Gerard's
for the
got a good one.
Nuggets.
I do have a gift for the Nuggets. A disruption in the space and time continuum. I want Jokic, bubble Jamal Murray, and a healthy Michael Porter Jr. because that to me is the core of an NBA championship team.
I agree.
Don't you think Nuggets fans think about this every minute?
I mean, literally every second of the day is what they
Yeah.
do.
Like, we did it. We're done. We're good.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe maybe they'll get to see that team at some point.
It's tough.
Los Angeles Lakers.
I want to see after a game when they just get, although they played spirited last night. LeBron, I thought, played very, very well late in the game. They lost a tough game. AD's out for at least a month, I think. I want LeBron to go to a post-game press conference and say, okay, I'm demanding a trade now. I want to go to a contender. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah.
That's gonna start a fight.
For sure.
I do actually want to okay, let's get through our thing and then let's come back to what would really happen then? Okay. I wish for Anthony Davis the training staff that he thought he was getting when he left New Orleans.
Bingo.
Or actually, I don't know if you guys saw this, but snow day. California got a ton of snow over the last few days. And this was what leads to their droughts. Usually is not enough snow. And look at this, from 19% of snowpack to 98% over a week. So, have a snow day, Lakers. Got
time to head to Mammoth, baby.
Get outdoors. Okay. The Minnesota Timberwolves. They're bringing on board some new billionaires, as you know, and those people have been making noises about having one of the oldest arenas in the league. And it seems like there's a little bit of either they get a new building or they're going to investigate their other options. There have been various reports to that effect. I feel like if I'm a Timberwolves fan, I want you to have wave a magic wand and here's your new stadium so you don't lose your team. Also, here's a win over the Lakers for you, Timberwolves fans. There's a little video here that Judy's going to play.
Oh yeah.
It's cheating, really, but
They're coming?
maybe not coming. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Oh, I didn't see. What are they drinking?
I think it's
Milk?
I think it's eggnog. Drinking contest. Lakers fan on the left. Wolves fan on the right. Cheating.
Oh, it's disgusting. They're blindfolded drinking milk?
They're eggnog. They're drinking eggnog.
Oh.
But
Why are
they're
they
blindfolded so that the mascot can just pour a bunch of eggnog into the
that's
Lakers
funny.
fans thing. Yeah, pretty funny.
That unsettles my stomach. Thank you.
You guys don't like eggnog? There's a conspiracy
Eggnog's
against
delicious.
eggnog, right?
Eggnog is delicious.
No,
Yeah.
I don't drink it.
You
In
don't want
moderation.
bottom.
In moderation, of course.
Yeah. All right. This next one's a little predicting David's next article. For the Dallas Mavericks, David, what do you wish?
Yeah, I've written one where I guess we're going to try to get out today or tomorrow, Henry.
I would think tomorrow.
Okay.
Just being
Yeah, it makes sense.
We talked about this, Coach.
Luka's been a little bit arrogant and he's sloppy. And I think a nice gigantic serving of humble pie might do him some good because he's enormously talented, like one of the most talented players ever. And he's not having a very good year and they really need him to. So humility, I think, can go a long way in this league. You have to be confident, but humble at the same time.
Rick Carlisle is nodding vigorously.
Yeah, I think I think that Rick, who also could probably use some humble pie.
Yeah.
I think he's saying I told you so. Yeah.
Yeah. The Sacramento Kings.
The Kings, those poor people. Band together as I actually have been in Sacramento a lot, and I like it very much. I love that those cities, and they love their Kings. I don't know how. Band together, put your money together, buy the damn team. You can't get worse.
It's true.
Like you can't be worse. They can't run the team worse than what's happened. And either that or the other night, my wife and I, with my daughter, watched The Producers because she had never seen it. And the Mel Brooks one, the second one's much better than the original. And it's just so fucking funny. He's such a brilliant guy. I just listened to him the other day on NPR too. He's 95 and still doing great. So fuck, let him buy the team and then make a damn musical out of it. At least it'll be funny. At least they'll be laughing because right now they're crying over same old for almost 20 years now.
You know, Mel Brooks used to call me all the time. I'm not even kidding. I answered
Really?
the phones for CBS Network Radio News, and when somebody died, anybody famous died, Mel Brooks had a lot of time at home. He was alone, and he knew that phone number, and he would just call and be like, let me think of an example. Like, who would be like Jack Valenti, who was the head of like Jack. I didn't even know Jack Valenti died. He's like, Jack Valenti died. Like, this is Mel Brooks. I'm available to be interviewed. Basically,
Mel Brooks.
His widow, when she was still alive, obviously gave my favorite ever quote about marriage. Anne Bancroft, he married, this incredibly lovely woman who was a star of The Graduate, whatever. And he does not look like he'd be married to a movie star, but he's a kind, brilliant man. I've heard a lot of people say incredible things about him as a person. And she did an interview, I think, for the New York Times once. And they asked what it's like to be married to someone like Mel Brooks. And she said, listen, all marriages have issues. We've had our problems, but I knew this every day he came home the same time, every night. I heard the key go in the door and I knew the party was about to start. And I said to my wife, like, I'm not funny like Mel Brooks, but I want you to always be excited when I walk in from the house, whatever is the day, because I want to make your life better. And he did. And he really inspired me. So I love the guy. Yeah, I love him. He's funny as fuck.
all right, Portland Trailblazers, for them, I would like to give them a new owner who doesn't live in Seattle, a bigger city that needs an NBA team and have history, and an owner who doesn't have a history with scantily clad security guards and contraband penguin skulls.
It's so crazy.
Henry, to this day, when I say that about Jody, people are still like, what? People are still like dumbfounded by that sentence. They're like, I'm sorry, what? Say it again. I'm like, no, I said it right.
You heard we're not saying it loud enough, Jarod. That's what that means.
As they should be. Even in this crazy world we live in now, that is crazy. I'm a little different. Signs
at games, the whole thing. It should be like
everything.
Yeah. I'm a little bit different though. We know coaches that were great players, and I don't love this about them, but they secretly still think they could beat these guys a lot. And Chauncey Billups, who's been public, as we talked about this roster. I want him to petition the league because you can't be a player coach. Petition the league for a one game. I want him to admit, let me show these guys how to play. I'm not suggesting he'll be any good, but in his mind, he's thinking that, right? I can show these guys. I could be better than these guys.
Just jump in to practice, Chauncey. Let's go. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, strap it up.
Shoot him up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a mean gift, but for the San Antonio Spurs, I wish a spot on the USA senior men's team for Keldon Johnson. What a gift that would be. Like,
he's not been great this year. He's been okay. He doesn't look like a Team USA guy.
Like, Henry, that's so bad, but also funny.
He doesn't we were all thinking that though, right?
We were all thinking that.
He doesn't quite fit. Yeah,
Once Steve Kerr's the coach of this team, it's not going to be Keldon Johnson on the roster. Like,
definitely not Keldon Johnson.
That's for sure.
All right, the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, it was, going back to politics, I want Ted Cruz to launch a "We Want Kyrie" campaign. That'd be funny.
All right, so on January 9th, so the Rockets still have a lot of their season left, but they only have one national TV game, and it's going to be on NBA TV January 9th against the Timberwolves. If somehow that doesn't get moved off the national TV network.
Please, dear God.
So Jalen Green is due back from injury soon. A little bit of a chucker. My hope is that he tries to break Wilt Chamberlain's single game scoring record in that game.
That'd be cool.
Go bananas, Jalen. Do your thing.
Why not?
Not going to happen, but it'd be a fun wish. He won't listen. He wishes that too, just so you know.
Yeah. He tries that every time he suits up. Like, of course it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's what he wants. But don't forget Sengun.
Yeah, don't forget.
That dude's pretty good.
No, it's really fun. That one pass that we had the video of, like, ridiculous. Okay, the New Orleans Pelicans.
I would love for them a time machine. It's like a theme for today. Let's rewind back to the 2018-2019 season and give them a do-over. Let's see if they can get it right this time. 2018-2019. Let's see if they can do things a little differently.
What would it start with first?
Getting a actually competent medical staff in there for starters. That's the first thing.
Is that when did they trade Anthony Davis?
That was at the end of that season, right? I thought that offseason, because they got because they drafted Zion that summer.
That's right.
2019 summer.
It's just like, man, they were just so bad, dude. Like, why are you having the Saints medical staff run the fucking basketball?
Then they brought in like the most celebrated training staff in the league and overhauled the medical facilities, and we haven't seen Zion in a long time.
And, which is,
yeah,
and that's why I want them to start all over. Something's not right, folks.
Yeah, it's sad. Okay, our last team that would like to give a Christmas gift to is it? Well, the Thunder got basically 2 miracle buzzer beaters from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this weekend.
Mhm.
One of them was a game winner. The other one wasn't because of. Here's the second one. Okay, now what I really want is for Shai to get to finish his celebration dance, was interrupted by Kenrich Williams. But watch this. I mean, first of all, this is ridiculous.
Nice.
That's gonna, and the buzzer's going off. There we go. Perfect. And now,
Kenrich Williams,
he's got something planned here. Look, he's doing.
There it is. What is that?
And he wants to finish it. He's like, I'm finishing my special dance.
Yeah. That's like a guy in soccer gets a goal and he wants to dance and he gets piled on. That dude is good. By the way, the play they ran there is really interesting. If you watch it again, I think Lou Dort was out of the screen, like he was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I think just create more space. And then he comes running in, they back screen to get him open. It's pretty cool. I like how he used all the space there.
Well, Shai was setting a tough screen, to get Nick Batum on him.
Well, when you set a screen like that, a back screen, the guy guarding Shai has got to help the guys coming off it racing to the rim, and that's how you create the opening. We run an action in the NBA called Spain. It came from the Spanish league and the Spanish Olympic team, whatever, where you back screen a guy and then you pop off a screen to get open. It's hard to guard multiple screening actions. So that's what he was doing there.
It is. Okay, we did it. We got it through all 30 teams. We have like 20 minutes left somehow. Well done.
Jealous.
So now, honestly, can we do this little exercise? Okay, let's do, if you redo the Pelicans, like I feel like in real time, everything they did seemed pretty smart, but
seems smart. But I'm wondering, did they not do enough? And I'm not blaming Zion because I don't know anything about his team and who's working with him. But every team, when they draft someone, they do their homework, right? Their diligence on who they're going to have to deal with, all that jazz. Did they make a miscalculation here and not know what Team Zion was about? Again, I don't know if they're doing anything bad on the Team Zion side, but there's clearly a lack of communication and trust between the two sides. And then all these stories coming out about Zion falling asleep in film sessions and skipping rehab. I'm like, is that true, or is that being planted by the Pelican side? Right? I just don't know what's happening here.
Well, if you want to go back though, and you decide you're going to trade AD, which I don't think is a terrible decision. They got to that point. You have to go back to 2015 to not have to trade him in 2018-19. They could have had more players than the Lakers. The Lakers would have given up everybody had that been handled right. In starting with the Clippers starting center, they could have had Zubac, right? They could have got Kuzma. They could have got anybody. The entire team except for LeBron, and those guys were all pretty good players. And who knows what you do with them? But I mean, again, Zubac is a starting center. Now they got Valanciunas, but he's probably better than Zubac now. But still, they would have had more talent to work with than what they did.
I think the big thing really is there's no one you'd rather have than Zion, right? And he's a high risk, high reward proposition, right? He's at high risk of injury. And I guess you could fault them for, they haven't obviously perfectly built the program for him and earned his trust and got buy-in, all that kind of stuff, right? But the offseason is a risk, right? For a lot of NBA players. But so that hasn't worked out. But to me, I say this as a Blazer fan when we had Greg Oden, but it's it was actually a great pick. It just didn't, it's a lottery ticket that pays off 40% of the time, 50% of the time, and which is better than, and when it pays off in championships, right? But we'll see if Zion can get out there.
Right. When he's healthy, he is fabulous. Yeah. There's no other, it's the whatever is the best adjective for an NBA player, it's him. He's everything, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely capable of leading a team to a championship like Giannis. In fact, I think he's the closest thing to Giannis that we have, just at a sheer athleticism and a guy that can just make so many different plays. He's not Giannis defensively, but he's young. The question is, can he get in shape? I mean, Giannis changed his body so dramatically. Yeah, Zion needs to now. And I don't know what's going to happen with the Jones fracture.
I mean, it's probably one of these things, right, where it's going to be 5 years from now, he will have all the lifestyle stuff. He'll be all leaner and playing somewhere else, and then we'll be like,
Mhm.
why didn't this happen earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think you're exactly right.
Right.
They wake up a little bit. Yeah.
So we just talked about that with Andrew Wiggins, right? I know he's a different story because he's always been super athletic, but like, now, well, actually, okay, two more topics we should talk about. One is if LeBron demands a trade, what really happens? Like, how much is it really worth? Is it really, you know what I mean? Like,
I haven't.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me to do the second part of it. Just what can they get from Santa? I didn't think about where he might go, but it's a great question.
If I'm a team, I don't know. I mean, because you have to. I'm not giving up a king's ransom for LeBron at this stage, right? Like, yeah, still very good, but he's what, 36? Gonna be 37 in this month at the end of the month. Like, I
think I know where he goes.
Where?
I think he goes to Boston.
mm-hmm.
Because they'll get Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, one or the other.
Probably Brown, not Tatum.
Probably. Tatum's coming around, though. Tatum's coming around. And so just think of all-star level players that the Lakers would want in return to put with AD. I'm not sure another team besides Boston would have that.
But again,
LeBron's not going to go to a bad team.
No.
Like, I don't think the Lakers would trade him.
No, of course not.
Just because, like, he's up there with Steph in terms of just selling tickets and drinks and that kind of stuff, and just making the owners look popular. And so I think, honestly, every team, despite Drod's good basketball point, like, I think every team would go bananas to get him, right? Like, just for the business. Like, it's
That's true. There's the business.
He's a real moneymaker.
It's true.
But come on, like, I was thinking about the Sixers, and I'm like, but he might kill Joel Embiid. Like,
Daryl Morey would want him for sure.
Daryl Morey would definitely want him.
You don't think he and Joe would work? You think Joe's like too not serious for LeBron? Like, what's the thing?
I think, like, he may have evolved, but like, it seems to me like, LeBron likes teammates who are always early, do all their work, like,
Your mouth shut too.
like, never.
That's not Joe.
He wants routine. He believes in routine, right?
Right.
And like, I watched the trainers literally chasing Joel around during the playoffs, like trying to catch up to him to give him his assignments for how to rehab. And he's just like, I don't want to do it. Like, he's a goofball. He's an amazing player, but like, he's not a routine guy. Like,
no, he's amazing. Yeah.
He's amazing. And
Boston should not break up the Celtics. Should not break up Tatum and Brown.
I agree.
Two all NBA. Like, my theory on that. Like, you don't break that up for no reason. Like, if they got personality problems,
you just call LeBron James no reason.
I might have.
All right, so here's my last little conundrum that's on my mind is so the beginning of this year, the analysis was pretty clear that like the Warriors might be good or might not, I don't know, but they would definitely be in the most profound luxury tax hell of any team ever, and it's going to cost them things that we've never seen come up before, but just amounts of money and just constricted roster forever. There's going to be a day in 2025, 2026 where they're just, what did we do? That's coming for sure. Unless at the beginning of the year, like, the bummer, you can't get anything for Andrew Wiggins because he makes so much money. It's like, well, now he's good, right? Now they've increased his value tremendously, good enough that they're among the favorites for this year's title. And maybe you just don't mess with that. But on the other hand, if you want to get out of jail of your luxury tax for the next half decade, Andrew Wiggins is valuable right now. Like,
100%.
Talk to me about the cost benefit of this. Like, do you try to shed some salary at this point for the Warriors?
I think it's tough if you're the Warriors, right? Because the chemistry is working right now, right? Your cookie recipe is fucking perfect right now. I doubt they even make any, like, what's the win percentage? 880% right now? Best team in the league. Like, it's very rare that teams like that make any moves. Their move is we got Clay and Andrew and James Wiseman coming back. Those are our moves. We don't need to add anything else. But to your point, does Joe Lacob say, fuck, I don't want to write that luxury tax check? And all you need is one team. Because while I think Wiggins is better, he's better in that scenario. I don't know if you take him and put him in your dumpster fire team, he's going to be good. He probably won't be, right? That's Steph Curry and Draymond Green and that infrastructure and all that makes him better. You take him to someplace else, I don't know if that happens. And then you wasted whatever to get him.
I mean, hypothetically, like, the most extreme case would be like the Thunder give, a young player and a pick. Wiggins is going to play fewer minutes when those guys come back anyway, right? Like, the Warriors take some hit, but they got a lot of players. And then they have this young player to pick, and they're going to get 5 more Andrew Wiggins over the next 5 years with the maneuverability and cap space that they'll be giving up this year. Like, you got to think about it.
You do. I mean, he's a better version of the championship winning Harrison Barnes, right, Coach?
Yeah. I mean, he's become a very good, almost great two-way player. Like, and shooting 40% plus from 3, but also finishing way over 50% at the rim, and guarding like really good offensive players every night and doing very well. And also the perfect personality. Like, he's not afraid to be the alpha. Like, there are times where he's got to go score, and he's done that before. He's been that his whole career. He's always been the guy that way. It just didn't ever always sit well with him, partly because he was missing some skills to make it easier. He couldn't really dribble. Still can't really dribble great. But he's perfect for Draymond's and Steph's, ice and fire. He's just really perfect. But I think you guys are making great points. But I guess you have to trade him this year to a team way under the cap, like the
Oklahoma
Thunder.
City. Mm-hmm.
So you can save the money this year.
Well, they're going to, the tax, all the taxes are going to get them, right? They're going to have that like 4.5 to 1 tax, and they're going to have the repeater tax, whatever. So you could trade him for a big expiring contract. You could trade him for a lot of different things, but
right. But with the experiment, that would only be for next year, right?
Yeah, but they're going to be in tax trouble forever,
right, for that,
right?
Yeah.
So
right,
it's worth it to get for next year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's too bad. But Henry, we were talking earlier before you made me think of this great point you were making. It's just so sad. If we could all rent Jarod's time machine, boy, or change the timeline. If he could have gone to a decent franchise in year 1.
Oh, when he got drafted, yeah.
I don't know that he'd ever be Luka level. He's got to really improve his ball handling for that. But he could have been a two-way stud for a long time. It's too bad it's finally only happening now.
Yeah, it takes David's eyes to see this, but like I think for a little like negative about how teams are run, how the leagues run sometimes. I think it's because like David saw this potential for Andrew Wiggins before he was drafted and was like, ooh, if he works on this, works on that. And now how many years is he in the league before he finally gets
right? This should have been what he was in year 3, probably. Like he needed a couple of years. But by year 3, this is what we should have seen. And Henry, we did a Troop TV about him. We did many, but we did one where he was going to be playing for the Canadian national team. And I just said, no, he's 19 years old. Let him just work on his craft.
Yeah.
When you play in those games, you can't afford failure. You're just going to stick with what you're always doing. But he needed growth. And this is what we're stuck with now. And it's too bad because he's not going to have another monster contract probably. And he could have had 2 or 3 big. He's such an athletic dude.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he can shoot so well.
Yeah,
it's too bad. But whatever, it's, and wouldn't that suck for him if Henry's right? Because Henry is right. If they do have to trade him on a team away from a team that could win a championship, and now we're stuck on another not so great team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care. It's not my money. Honestly, they should keep they have a very good chance of winning a title this year, right?
They have a real shot.
So it's worth it. Whatever it is, Joe Lacob can figure it out later, right? But it will. But somebody might get hurt. This team's had a lot of injuries, and if one of those somebody's a Steph Curry, then we're in a scenario where it's like, oh my gosh, they're not going to win a championship, and this news stories will be very bad in a year, 2 years, 3 years about what they have to do on this team to and we know Joe Lacob really does care about the luxury tax because that's why he's not trading for other veterans now. Right.
He's trying to do both, right? He's like, we can win now and also win in the future with,
and he's right,
Kuminga and all these, all those young guys.
Is Kevin Love in his last year? Because
Devin's probably faster than me on that. Devin,
there's 3 teams. I believe 538's got 3 teams with like a better than 10% chance to win a championship right now. Golden State's 1. Milwaukee, I think, is 1. I don't think it's Phoenix, but I could be wrong. Could be Phoenix. It's the fucking Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Because they have such a great net rating despite playing a top 3, top 4 schedule. Wiggins to Cleveland, so they have a major wing need.
That's the wing all-star that I'm talking about.
Imagine Wiggins going there and Kevin Love going to the Warriors.
I think I might like this. I think I might. I mean, more for Cleveland than for
sure.
State,
Right.
But yeah.
The problem is like the Warriors are the best defensive team in the league because of how speedy everyone is, and he's like the speediest, longest one of them.
Kevin
all,
Love
right?
messes that all up.
Yeah.
But if he's in his last year, and we could look it up, but forgive me for not knowing this kind of thing, but
this year and next year.
Okay, so this year and next year, that's not going to happen. But my only point was, I want Wiggins, if he has to go somewhere, go somewhere where the games are so meaningful. Like he's played half his life in the NBA for games that meant nothing because his team was going nowhere. Yeah. And I feel bad for players in February when their games just don't matter anymore. Yeah. It means a lot when every game is important to these guys. They're good teams, For
real. David, you want to talk a little bit about that other 538 story about the new technology they tried out in the WNBA, which will have a chance to change how we watch basketball.
Yeah, Jarod, 538's got this great article about you can track players' movements better than what Second Spectrum has. And I think you can do it even live. Like you can really watch it going on. In the article, they talk about how in Europe, players, and I know this from our soccer team, you track their heart rate and blood pressure, all that kind of stuff, whatever. But we're not tracking movement the way we could. This technology talks about it. And they can't track because Second Spectrum uses only 6 cameras. I thought it was more than that. And they're tracking torsos. This new technology can really track reach and wingspan and how close the contesting hand is to the shot and that kind of thing. That might be an interesting way to take in a game, is to know, that really wasn't very open, or that really was wide open just because the guy looked like he was closing out fast, but he was 6 inches short or whatever. The guy never even saw it. Kevin Durant doesn't see those contesting hands. So I think it's just, I like the way our game can evolve using science that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a suggestion that it'll make the game just faster, right? So, was that ball out of bounds or not isn't something that the referees really have to decide, right? Like the tech can solve that. I think though this quality of it is new. The reality of it is not, right? Like there was a ball, it must have been almost a decade ago, that had a sensor in it. And the idea was it would just know if it was out of bounds or not, or did it hit the rim or the backboard or not. And the reason we don't have it isn't because we didn't have the technology. The reason is because just like the strike zone in baseball or that tennis fault line thing, like the audience wasn't ready for it. Or maybe it's the administrators, right? But like this product was more successful if there was a human referee. Right. And I don't know if we're past that. I mean, how is it going in baseball? Do you guys know? Like, how is this strike zone thing going?
I do know. I find it fascinating. I can't watch more than a couple innings. It's my off time a little, once you get to the summer, I don't want to watch more than 2 innings, but I try to watch 2 innings a night just because it reminded of my time with my son when I played. But I find it fascinating.
I love it personally. I know there are people like old school, like baseball, like purists who hate that shit. They're like the human element, and I'm like, guys, fucking like humans make mistakes. Like fuck it, like you know what I mean? Like I'm good.
On the referee side, I'll tell you one thing. Back when I was a coach in my 20s, one of our best varsity referees, who I think's passed away now, his name was Dan Morrison, and Dan was one of the best umpires in Major League Baseball. But like many people, they come to Florida. They live here in the off time. This was wintertime. And he was an unbelievable referee. Like I want him to call every game we had. Not that he gave us every call, but most umpires, they really understand how to officiate a game. There's a mentality you're supposed to have. It's not supposed to be about them. And we were always a really good team. And I knew that we wouldn't have a referee trying to fuck us to take over. He was such a professional. But I think Jarod's right. I think that it's humans make mistakes all the damn time. And
the emotions of the game that sure impacts a ref and an official for sure. You can see it. See it.
We know the solution. Kawhi Leonard, NBA referee.
He'd be the best.
Except, but then we never get the board man gets paid line. Although we could say it to a guy that's not hustling.
Henry, you're at a certain age, you just don't get paid. That's
Before we leave, though, Henry, one thing I liked about this was the ability to help us take care of our players better, because it's tracking movement. You can track decelerations that aren't normal, that kind of thing. And whatever we can do to keep our players healthier, to your point, is great for the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is the end of the year for this little show. We'll be back in January. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Thank you, Jarod. Thank you, David. Thank you, Judy. We will see you guys next year.
Happy holidays, everyone.